Well, first, we have new information right now coming in from the FBI Director Kash Patel, who says that officials have been working around the clock 24/7 to go through this shooter's phone and find a possible motive. And what they found is pretty shocking. We want to pull up this post on X. This was posted again by FBI Director Kash Patel just in the last hour. He says the perp downloaded a document with a list of DHS facilities. He conducted multiple searches of ballistics and looked up the Charlie Kirk shot video in the last 2 days leading up to the shooting. According to the FBI director here, the shooter also searched apps that track the presence of ICE agents. And listen to this. He says that there was a handwritten note that was recovered that said, quote, "Hopefully this will give ICE agents real terror to think, is there a sniper with AP rounds on the roof?" The FBI also released a picture of anti-ICE messages written on rounds that were found next to that shooter. Officials say this attack was a result of dangerous anti-ICE rhetoric. Officials say the gunman was firing at that ICE facility from the rooftop of a nearby building. He fired indiscriminately with bullets flying all around inside and outside that building. He also hit a van in the Sally Port that was carrying 3 illegal migrants. Officials say one of them died and the other was taken to the hospital. Sources close to this investigation shared this picture of the shooter's driver's license with me. He is identified as 29-year-old Joshua John. Officials say he shot and killed himself when officers cornered him. The New York Post reports that his mother posted a series of anti-gun rants on Facebook just a few years ago. Those rants were aimed at Republican lawmakers, including Senator Ted Cruz, who spoke here at this press conference yesterday.
Politically motivated violence is wrong. It was 2 weeks ago today that we saw a political assassination in Utah that tore the heart out of much of this country. This is the 3rd shooting in Texas directed at ICE or CBP. This must stop.
Well, here's the deal. It's not gonna stop, because the left is convinced that ICE is Nazi. You had Kamala Harris in the Senate when she was a senator. She said, she asked, I forget who was in charge at the time. It may have been Holman. And she said, are you aware that a lot of immigrants think to compare ICE to the Ku Klux Klan? It's like, what are you talking about? You're talking about a federal law enforcement agency to a gang? Because that's what the Ku Klux Klan is. It's a gang. It's just like, the left will not let this go. And they think that this is their, this is the hill they want to die on with regard to immigration. Like, they're going to keep, they will not relent. They're just going to keep going and going and going. Look, here's the thing. When you're a gambler, and this is the problem with being, addicted to gambling, one of the problems is they delude themselves into thinking that the trend is going to stop. So when they're losing and losing and losing and losing, they think, okay, well, eventually I have to win. And so they're losing and losing, and then they win just, 10% back, and then they think, okay. And then it goes down and down, and the trend is always going to continue. The trend isn't going to stop. That's kind of why we call it a trend. It's going to continue until people like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Ilhan Omar, Rashida Tlaib stop calling Donald Trump, stop calling ICE agents Nazis. Now, let me ask you, what are the odds of them actually coming out and saying that? You tell me.
And at the same facility, there was a bomb threat in August. And then in July, a police officer was shot in the neck in an ambush-style attack outside of an ICE detention facility here in Alvarado, Texas. But Harris, there has been a lot of questions about what the motive is. And I think those documents and what the FBI director, Kash Patel, just put out paints a pretty clear picture there.
So he sees what happened to Charlie Kirk and is inspired. That is the clearest indication. It is a politically motivated lunatic, by the way. Lunatic. And will see, and here's, man, this is one of the things that just, but it's happening on both sides. Is it now? So Republicans are shooting at ICE agents too. Yeah, mega Republicans are doing this too. They're taking lawful warrants served by a court and executing them. And the left can't handle that. They don't like it because the left doesn't like the law. The law to them is just, it's like a speed bump to get where they're trying to go. They don't like that. And so they just fly right through it. Forget that it's going to damage the car. That's immaterial. And you see that happening. Their party is imploding under the weight of its own wokeness. They can't stop. And they're not gonna. And so, well, they'll come out and they'll say, well, we don't like violence, but it has to end, from the president. It's like, he's enforcing the law. They conveniently leave that part out.
Brooke, thank you very much for getting us started. I want to bring in now Tom Homan, border czar, and you have been warning us about this as a country for months. You have said this on this very program. If you have just a moment to stand by, I'm going to play you saying what you knew would happen.
I said 2 months ago, Harris, that if this rhetoric didn't stop, there would be bloodshed. And I'm telling you, it's only a matter of time before there's an incident where an ICE agent is going to have to take a life or an ICE agent is going to lose a life. Being compared to Nazis and racists, that it's going to end with the use of force, that either a criminal is going to die or an officer is going to die. It's going to end up with a loss of life. And it's not over. I mean, the rhetoric has to end. But the rhetoric needs to be tapped down or you're going to see more bloodshed. I called it 2 months ago, and unfortunately I was right.
And then now the new chapter of a detainee being the person who was killed and another detainee, a couple of them wounded in all of this. Your first reaction?
I wish I was wrong. But I've seen this movie before. I've been doing this, Harris, since 1984. I got over 4 decades doing this job. And I've seen this movie before. I've never seen it this bad. But, the rhetoric is what's causing all this hate. And it convinces that small percentage on the left that hate ICE to take action. When they have a congressman or someone that ran for vice president of the United States comparing ICE to Nazis, that gives some of these nuts and emboldens them to take action. And
that was Kamala Harris. That's who he's talking about. That was Kamala Harris comparing ICE to the Ku Klux Klan. How do you stop a party where their vice president is against enforcing the law? How do you find common ground? The whole common ground thing that's done. This is like, how am I supposed to find common ground with these people? Common ground on what? You name the issue. Common ground on what? They want to deny XX and XY chromosomes. How do you unify? You got a person telling you, hey, 2 + 2 can be 17 sometimes. It's like, and you're supposed to say, okay, It's like,
there's been 3 shootings in Texas alone. There was a gunman that showed up at a Border Patrol facility and started shooting at them. He picked the wrong facility. He picked a SWAT facility, and those officers ended up taking his life. Then there's a shooting just south of Dallas where they attacked an ICE facility and one officer was shot in the neck. Then this latest incident. This is based on hate that's being fueled by the media and members of Congress and governors and mayors. You played it on your show. We got to stop. ICE agents are enforcing the law Congress enacted. If you don't like what ICE is doing, then go tell Congress, because they wrote the laws that ICE is obligated and took an oath to enforce. They're making this country safe again. Every day they take a public safety threat or a national security threat off the street, it makes that community safer. All these politicians and mayors and governors should be calling President Trump and thanking them.
not going to do that. That's not going to happen. By the way, that's Gavin Newsom. That's Gavin Newsom. By the way, Democrats love him. What are you supposed to do with these people? Seriously. They're all delusional. All right, guys, that's it for now. If you like the video, smash the like button and subscribe. And if you're following me on Rumble, please press that follow button. And until the next time, God bless.